Now I'd like to introduce William Dennison, founder of Dennison Hearing Solutions. Will is nationally board certified in the hearing instrument sciences, along with a Bachelor of Science and a Master of Arts from Georgia College and State University in Milledgeville. Dennison is also the only tinnitus care provider certified by the International Hearing Society in the state of Georgia. Please welcome Will Dennison.
Thank you, Will. This is Will Dennison with Dennison Hearing Solutions. For most people, hearing loss is not an inability to hear as much as an inability to understand. You hear someone talking, but it may come across as muffled or mumbled. You might hear the beginning of a sentence, but lose the end of it. You might think people are speaking too fast or not speaking clearly enough. These are all indicators that something might be going on with your hearing. When sound hits our eardrum, it goes through a process and eventually ends up moving millions of hair-like cells in our cochlea, which then transmit signal to our brain. Over time, these cells become worn out from use, and it takes a louder stimulus to excite them. Imagine walking from the front door to the mailbox each day. Over time, you eventually wear a path through the grass. This is what happens as sound passes over those cells, and why the more birthdays we get, the more likely we are to have some difficulty with our hearing. In fact, by the age of 65, a third of the population has some level of hearing loss. Too often, I hear patients say they hear fine for their age. When we choose to ignore our hearing loss, or just accept it without treatment, we're not only doing a disservice to ourselves, but to our loved ones as well. Untreated hearing loss does damage to our brains and to our relationships, which is why I tell each of my patients that hearing health is whole health. You cannot live a completely healthy life and ignore difficulty with your hearing. Today, I want to take a few minutes to discuss one example of how hearing can impact other areas of our health, specifically our cognitive health. When we hear, our brains are taking different sounds and putting them together in a way that makes sense, kind of like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. As we begin to lose our hearing, some of those puzzle pieces are being taken away from us. You might hear part of a word, but you have to guess at the rest of it. Context and visual cues can help with this, but it's still a guessing game. Did they say yoga or yogurt? Pearl or girl? This guessing game puts additional stress on our brain that can impact us in many ways. For one, this can lead to cognitive overload. If your brain is working harder to understand what's being said, it does not have as many resources available for processing or remembering. It can be an exhausting exercise trying to follow a conversation when you have a hearing loss. In fact, many of my patients have reported that they have more energy at the end of the day after they begin wearing hearing aids for the first time. This is just one way that hearing impacts our overall well-being, and why doctors recommend anyone over the age of 55 incorporate a hearing checkup into their annual wellness plans. So when was your last hearing checkup? Dennison Hearing Solutions offers the most comprehensive evaluation and consultation around, and it's one of the reasons we have been voted Best in Gwinnett each year that we've been open. Our complete evaluation is usually $125. However, for everyone attending the Generations Expo, we are going to offer you the full evaluation at no charge. But please call today, because this offer will expire at the end of the month and space is limited. Also, we are following CDC guidelines to ensure a safe environment for you at the time of your visit.